So I knew when I found recovery, this is where God put me to do this work, nothing else, man, nothing else. I knew God put me on this earth to do this work with these people. That's my mission, and that's my vision. You guys know a little bit of my story, but I think the overarching emphasis was that I didn't feel like people cared. I would go to Alcoholics Anonymous, these men and these women would love me, they would call me family. And I didn't experience that when I went into treatment programs. I didn't experience the connectivity. And so when we got around opening Peaks, the fear was eliminated because I knew where my passion was just to walk with people in recovery. At the early stages of Peaks recovery were just more of the same. You know, we had people that trusted in our mission, in our vision. Certainly it was a lot different than it is today. You know, we were a small business, small resources, small company. I remember thinking if we could have one person find remission from whatever it is for a year, 6 months, we win. We just win, man, and we did that together.
I work in the industry now, in the treatment industry, and oftentimes people ask me like how I got in, right? What did it look like for me? And one of my favorite things in the world is to be like, oh, you know Peaks Recovery? I was their first client ever. Let's start at graduation, right? So my therapist at the time came to the graduation and she said, out of all the clients that came through, I didn't think you would be the one standing here, right? I was such a struggle every moment of the day, and I didn't think I was gonna be the one to make it either. I had experienced treatment before, but it was always a room in a building and there were hundreds of people around. And so to be in a smaller environment where I felt like I could really be myself was so impactful, I would say. I felt so welcomed and loved the whole time there. Whereas other treatment centers, it was very punishment style based, right? I needed to learn life, but also it was community, and it was getting outside of my comfort zone and learning that like I can do something, and even if I fail at it, that's okay. And there's people that will pick me up and be there for me. You giving me that ability to do that and show up differently there helped me stay in treatment, which helped me move forward to be the person I am today.
The ripple effect that a story like yours has changes the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's thousands of individuals who touch thousands of individuals who have touched thousands of individuals. That covers everything.
Yeah. I can honestly 100% say, without a doubt, that I would not be here today doing the things I'm doing today if I didn't have the experiences I had at Peaks.
I wanted so badly for those individuals to have authentic recovery that they could take with them and carry out into the community. It was so present. It was just right here because all we had was today. What we started to run into a lot is not being able to get the people admitted. We didn't have a detox, so we had to send them out to these places that we knew just didn't align with the Peaks model. This idea that nobody cares what you know until they know that you care was kind of missed on some of our earlier admins. I always tell people that the detox team that we built is larger than most urgent cares in Colorado Springs. I mean, we brought in the psych doc, we had the primary care, and then we had the addictionologist. We had a huge 12-person nursing team. And I think something that's really, really permeated throughout the culture of Peaks Recovery was this interdisciplinary connectedness that focused on individuals that needed us the most.
Had this lovely morning of waking up and being yellow like a Simpsons character and glowing eyes to match it and everything. And after some research, some R&D there with some doctors, it's like, yeah, man, looking pretty rough here. This is a liver issue. And we need to get you into treatment. We need to get you taken care of. So it was tough to get a bed anywhere. And the places that did have beds and rooms available, they didn't want somebody coming in looking like they were dying. They couldn't move around and was yellow and had liver enzymes that were cranked up and heavy. So it was a lot of no, no, and no. So finally we ran into Peaks, a place that said, yeah, let's do this. That on its own changed the whole mental script. Somebody thinks I'm gonna make it. And your staff grabbed a challenge like it was no other challenge that was ever gonna exist out there. And it was amazing. It wasn't just being at a hospital. It was a family that wanted to see somebody go from completely dead, I was unalived, and bring me back into life. Let's make sure this person has hope. If I could change one thing that you guys do, and only one thing, have a bigger campus so you can get more people there.
The story at Peaks is like this. And in each valley, we find ourselves personally and professionally. We reconnect and we climb. There's been a lot of professionals that have come on and really gotten behind the mission and vision, and quite frankly, carried it out better than I ever could have. I'm really grateful today to be able to come in and be a small piece of a much greater process of experts carrying out state-of-the-art behavioral health services. We bring you in and you actually start to build a company. One of the things I wanted to chat with you about is, we've walked through all of this adversity, there was some things in the environment that were out of our control.
When you really sit with what you're doing at the end of the day, there's so much humanity involved within it. One family in particular strikes me in this moment. The daughter had left treatment, and within a few weeks she had passed away in the basement of her home from an overdose. This particular family reaching out in this moment, I'm thinking, okay, I'm about to get on the phone call. This is going to be devastating. This is going to be yelling and frustration. And the family immediately says, Brandon, this unfortunate thing happened, but we just want you to know that we know you did everything you could. And this is unfortunate, but we're going to celebrate her life because for the last 3 months, because of you guys, we got our daughter back. And this outcome is miserable. But don't lose hope. Keep doing what you're doing. Because there's someone else's life you're about to save. And that is exactly what we do. We work on ourselves, to work on the grief, to work on the process, to show up the next day, to show up for the next person who's suffering, with the hope that, just like the people we've been chatting with today, years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years, whatever the recovery outcome is, that you're laughing in the kitchen with them, you're having a great time. And sometimes the victories feel thin and small, but when you're in front of it, it's the reality of what we get to do, and we get to experience, we changed lives here. And we've been doing it for 10 years.
That type of trust and acknowledgement, it created this energy inside of me that said, we will not stop. We're going to continue to move forward. Really, at that point, when things like that happen in a business or just in life, all the other stuff just isn't that important to me, man. If people aren't healing, I don't care. And that's just who I am. But if humans are smiling, I know we're in the right spot and we're headed in the right direction. For a number of years, it was always this Peaks Recovery, Chris Burns, right? Peaks Recovery is Chris Burns, and we supported that. And I think for a number of years, it kept us pretty small. And what I'm so grateful and kind of moved by now is this opportunity we have to make it big, bright and beautiful. And I think this 10-year thing is kind of highlighting that as well, as I'm just a very small piece of this process today. And I'm so grateful because the people that I get to support today within that process and that day-to-day work are experts. Yeah. And they're the best at what they do. I mean, this authenticity and the message and the vision of Peaks that started 10 years ago, I'm so grateful that it's intact.
We didn't know this mental health epidemic was coming, and here we are serving it, right? What is the next thing that Peaks is going to find in its path where we point at it and say, if not here, then where?
We're going to continue to move forward with a whole heart in just the way we started this thing. We're going to help whoever we can. 10 years, we've had a really unique opportunity to just serve people, man. And it's been a blessing. I mean, the reviews and the people, even the ones that are gone, it's just they sing our praises. And I think it just takes a little bit of authenticity, some intention, and a big heart. And ultimately, that's what Peaks Recovery has always been.